That does happen. Amazon's going to let you know if that's a thing, though. It sounds like it's not requiring you, which is a good thing right there. But yeah, it's not a big deal. They just send you a letter and basically with like a 6-digit code, I believe, just for you to confirm that, you're who you say you are.
I want to say they started doing that less often. For a while, it was like everyone was talking about it. Now I don't hear as many people talking about it.
Completely agree. Yeah. Corey. Yes, Chris. I know.
He is slacking.
I know.
Chris would know. Yeah, he would.
Chris, if you're around and want to sub in off the bench, I'll email you the invite. If you want to come off that's a star player coming off the bench too. That's very rare.
That's the
that's like James, 6 man of the year caliber.
James Harden in OKC status.
Yeah, Chris, if you want to come off the bench, I just send you the invite.
Jamal Crawford.
That's Jamal. Yeah, I was just about to say Jamal Crawford.
Okay, dope. Cool. All right, yeah. So I just emailed it to you, Chris.
Yeah. You thought it was more ROI. Were you talking about something else? I don't know if there was a previous.
There's more ROI because if you make 100K and only make 20% ROI should be no. So you're thinking about margin, right? So and of course, obviously, we're not talking about taxes and a lot of these other things, but like margin is directly correlated with how much you're selling. ROI is correlated to how much you're buying, right? So it's two different equations, both kind of qualitatively,
one's
contextualizing the same thing, but
one's based on revenue and one's based on what you paid.
Yep.
Chris Grant, Lou Windows. Yeah, that was actually one of the better questions Warner and I got on the last free training we did. Right, someone was wondering how my thoughts on MB dropping 70. What up, Chris?
What's up, Chris?
What's up? On demand. It took him 30 seconds to get in here.
Oh, can't hear you, family.
He has to get warmed up. You got to do his stretching. He's got to get a few shots up first.
You got to hit a couple free throws first.
I mean, James Harden isn't coming off the bench hitting the first three. He's got to, make a layup. He's got to see the ball go in.
Okay, here we go. First stream. Good to have you here, family. Just getting started on FBA. Wondering if you have any tips for ordering large quantities of items. I've had a few orders canceled. So Slide, that's a good question. And good on you for buying big quantities of stuff right off the bat too, honestly, But the key is there's kind of two sides to this, right? So the one is just zeroing in on the websites that really, really want your money, right? That are not going to cancel, that you can either place big quantity orders, right? So orders of 50, orders of 99, etc., or a ton of smaller orders. So like ASOS, for example, their order limit is 10, but I've placed 50 orders in a day before on there, right? The first step is going to be maybe asking in the stream like this or asking in our free Discord, etc., if other people are getting cancels on that website and hitting them up and trying to figure out if they're canceling you because they think you're doing fraud or because you're a reseller. If they think you're doing fraud, ask them to whitelist you or ask them if they have like a bulk buying program or anything like that. And if they say you're doing reselling, you got to start jigging up the information and switching it up. Maybe try a different email, try a different payment gateway, try a different credit card, right? And try to isolate the variable, as G. Body Ben's math major would say, right? And figure out what's causing the cancels there.
It depends on your product, right? Because if you're going after like Nikes, Adidas's, Pumas, things like that, kind of probably tough luck. But if it's maybe like a smaller beauty brand or like a smaller grocery brand or something, it doesn't hurt to go to Google the brand, reach out to customer service, call them and be like, hey, I'm trying to buy, a couple thousand, however many of the specific product, see if they A, can accommodate that themselves, or B, can connect you with a distributor that can, right? And that's the benefit of going brand direct a lot of times is that best case, you get the account with the brand. Secondary best case is that they can put you into contact with 4 or 5 distribution companies that are authorized that they personally work with. And that's like the second best case scenario.
Free Discord's linked down below too.
Chris, how's life?
Oh, you're muted. Family,
you're muted. You're muted.
Oh.
Man, sorry. I lose the 6-man award.
Nah. James Harden isn't coming off and just yapping a half-court shot. He's got to see the ball go. He's got to get to the free throw line, get a layup or two.
Man. Now, life is great. A little cold in Florida, but other than that, living the dream, fellas.
It is cold today. It's weird.
Well, I didn't even realize Miles got the sweater on, the hoodie on.
Outside, right? So I went on the shirtless Sunmax walk this morning, right? But the key is that the pull-up bar is in the shade. So it was very cold pull-ups this morning, right? But if you're in the Sunmax, you can still go tarp off. Right, but if you're in the shade, it's very, very cool.
Should we run back the 2-minute hang challenge?
Ooh, yeah, okay, I'm ready to take that on. I think I would have made it if the kid didn't run in front of me.
I want a full 360 view
Yeah.
this time, not bozo.
I do
hanging
think
out.
it's funny. Coming from Wisconsin, the news or whatever was on during the NFL game, and there was like a big like burr icon over it being 49 degrees. I'm like, what is this?
You got iguanas dropping out of trees, man. It's dangerous.
Yeah, bro, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's crazy how like I was probably 55 here this morning when it was like cold, and like that's people
That's perfect running weather.
Yeah. Hey guys, can you suggest which best way for newbies to take? I'm not sure what exactly you mean. Between Puma, Adidas, or Nike, which ones do you suggest for beginners? All of the above. I love if you got outlets nearby. They probably got all three of those, man. Hit them up. There's actually a sale on the Puma website right now, so there's going to be some profitable items there too. And there's going to be, profitable items on other websites too for all those brands.
Austin, I'm assuming you're looking at like the different models, right? I'm sure you've heard about wholesale, online arbitrage, private label, retail arbitrage. Probably the best scenario for you is to try retail arbitrage, right? Find a Nike outlet, Adidas, Puma, Coach outlet, Burlington Coat Factory, Marshalls, TJ Maxx, whatever you got near you. Go into that store and just start scanning, right? Just start to immerse yourself in the content, in the data, right? What is the sales rank? What does the buy box? What do different products look like, right? What does a product that's selling fast look like? What does the product that's selling slow look like? And you'll start to really identify and get comfortable with a lot of these phrases that we're using. And that's the start, right? Obviously, we'll want you to get 5-10 units, test buy some things. Is just start to like experiment with different things. Of course, watching a lot of our free content on live sourcing and really how we're going about finding a product, purchasing it, that sort of thing, qualifying good products versus bad. It's going to seem like a lot in the beginning, right? But just start taking baby steps. And that's probably why we would get you in a store first. Sweet.
Yeah.
Any advice when it comes to selling smaller marketplaces like the UK? You can. A lot of people who end up selling in smaller marketplaces just move to the US. So like get your training wheels on, get your first few $1,000 in sales in the UK, wherever you are. And then you're going to usually make more money if you just US LLC, get a prep center, all that jazz. We love credit card debt here more than any other country, so you might as well take advantage of it and sell to us.
It's
one of the cool things about if they're based in Europe though, like they could get UK and Germany. Germany is actually the second biggest marketplace, and it does pretty well. There are guys who are just crushing it there.
There's a lot of like niches you can slip into either in Europe for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a dude at Amazon United, which I actually don't know if they're doing again. I hope they do. That had like a full presentation. I think he was exporting out of Germany. Well, let me look that up. I don't think they are though, because the website didn't update. Let's see.
1 weekend in Tampa, man's hooked.
All right. Well, yeah. I mean, it's just logic. I mean, it's literally just logic. Like it just like that. When the item's there, you buy it. Like pizza. But Jake, did you and Pete hang out yet? Today, I switched my account from individual to professional, got deactivated. So very good question. Whenever you are changing bank account or address or the status of your seller account, the type, you always want to give Amazon a call prior. So basically you can hit them up, say, hey, I'm going to be switching from an individual to a professional seller account. Do you mind putting that in the system and then doing it? Same thing with bank accounts. Anything like that, I've gotten deactivated like that before temporarily. It only lasts a couple hours.
It's interesting. I've never heard of one. That's been coming up a lot more in the past couple of weeks, rather than more so than anything.
I think they're really trying to make sure people are like legit and wanting to do video calls and stuff like that a lot more. And we got another round of Section 3s coming, and it sucks, but it is what it is.
Okay.
I mean, the last round kind of helped. Like, it got rid of all the counterfeiters and all that, and like this December was way more profitable because of it. So my
God, yeah.
As long as we're keeping like legit people on the platform, it's a good thing. It's just a little annoying as a newbie, I would imagine.
You get caught in the crossfire. Okay, they are having another Amazon United. So for all you New Jersey people, you'll get to link with us then. And G-Body Benz won't be training for an Ironman either. So gotta get them.
How long do cashback extensions typically pay out? After activating, it depends, but you can track all the past transactions depending on the cashback provider. You'll see like shopping trip, blah blah blah. You spent this, and then it's pending or it's paid out. Like just like check the transaction log on your probably like Rakuten or Top Cashback.
Isn't Rakuten's quarterly, right? Top Cashback is what, weekly?
But it shows you when you're gonna make money sooner than that though.
Mm-hmm. Right. Looking forward to the journey and appreciate all the info. I've spent hours listening to content from you guys and prepping my first shipment as we speak. 4 full boxes of 20. I think we all could probably speak
That's
on
awesome.
this panel that the first shipment was miserable.
It's
So
like
props
rocket
to you
science.
for getting past that first one.
Yeah, Dre, toss up a picture on Twitter too. Start making some friends. What about Soul Prop to LLC? Literally the same exact process. You just call them, let them know you're changing, and then change it.
I like to send an email and get the response back, so you have something like written out that you can keep on file.
Yeah, that's huge.
Too, man. Yeah, like
'Cause
that.
I mean, that's an easy screenshot. Add it to the case. Be like, oh, we talked about this. Get your shit together.
Yep.
Hi guys, for wholesale, first way to hunt product, then source it, or find distributors and hunt from them. Which way is best for newbies? Thanks in advance. So I mean, a couple of different things, right? First and foremost, right? It's important to identify like the two types of products that the accounts that we're talking about: distributors and brands. Distributors are probably going to be easier to open, right? A higher open conversion rate. Brands are probably harder. But when we talk about like what's involved, right? A distribution account, it's harder to qualify the sorts of products that are in those catalogs, right? We can get 10 distribution catalogs, and inside those catalogs, going to be 3 types of products, right? Products that are on Amazon that do well, products that are not on Amazon, and products that are on Amazon that don't do well. And it's hard to kind of distinguish the sorts of products that you're going to be getting to after putting in the legwork, right? Until you actually look in the catalog. The good thing, the benefit of the brand direct approach is you can identify and qualify products in brands way before you even start the outreach, right? So you can get a list of 10, 15, 20 brands where all the data lines up. Amazon's out in the picture, new brand in the picture, good competition, good sales rank, all these sorts of things. Have that data as your qualifying metric, and then reach out to the brand. Right? So you're not going to have the conversation where you get a catalog, get product information, and it doesn't really make sense for you. So those are kind of like the two different ways. Both of them have pros, both of them have cons. But understanding kind of like what you're after, what sorts of products you're after, kind of will make your life easier.
Attaboy, Steven. What was your quick product finder method you quickly spoke about a couple lives ago? Josh, you mind elaborating on that a little more? I could spit some game on that. How do I avoid getting banned from vendors? So the key is banned is a very subjective term. Some people think banned means one order cancel. For example, yesterday I was looping an item on Kohl's. I placed 2 orders of 50. One went through, one got canceled, and then I placed an order of 20, and then that went through. And then I placed another order of 20. That went through, right? So a lot of people would have quit after that first cancel, but I adjusted, made the order smaller, split them up a couple hours apart, and then that did end up going through, right? So really, like, I know Under Armour actually does ban, so it's going to be pretty tough. Try gift cards on there too from Cardbear or Top Cashback, but very few websites are actually going to ban you.
Yep.
Yeah, and then kind of going back to what Maz was talking about before, you want to isolate why they're canceling, right? Identify, is it the credit card number, the billing address, the quantity, right? The cadence of orders. It's a lot of different things that they're potentially looking at. And you want to start to just kind of like experiment, right? Take yourself back to 8th grade, the science project, and understand what variable they're actually after, right? Change up your cadency, change up your quantity in the order, maybe it's a stock issue, right? You don't necessarily know until you start to kind of play with a lot of these different aspects of the orders.
Yeah, you're whipping out 4th grade science. Pick the variable.
Yeah, I was
test
thinking
your
about what grade
hypothesis. You
was
got
that?
you
I
got
think
the
it
little
was-
flow chart like you're in like a elementary classroom. Like
I was actually thinking about, I think it was 5th grade when we had to do like the whole science project.
Yep.
Thing. We had the science fair, and you had to like put out the 3.
they should have let us do it with order cancels. That'd be
It would have been a hell of a lot more helpful.
right.
Not for sure. Should I and they banned me for reason, like, okay, time to get creative then, Christian. Time to get creative, jig up the information, try gift cards, try different
VPNs.
Yeah, VPN, right. It's time to get creative or focus on other sites.
Yep. When BSR is red, what does it mean? BSR is red. Probably on like SellerAmp, like it's probably above the average percent. It's probably like 3% or more, or something like that. It probably means it doesn't sell very fast.
Spot on.
But if it's on Keepa, then you unlock the new like nightmare mode of sales rank on Keepa.
Right.
Can be surrounded by FBM once again.
Yeah. Why would they cancel your order if you're giving them money for product? Some of the retailers, like, they just got it out for us, but a lot of times we're like looping like crazy discounts and like all that kind of stuff. Like it's loss prevention. Usually they're trying to like to avoid losing money, but the ones where it's like retail price or like just barely on sale, like, and then they're canceled. I don't understand those.
Okay, very good question, Andrew. Yeah, so you want the red up arrow. You want the red up arrow on your KPF searches. That's what you want to be filtering by, because that is a negative drop, which means an increase. And I know that sounds confusing, but that's just the way Keepa words it.
Yeah, Keepa was really meant for the consumer. Like consumers want to find prices that go down and things like that, and so we've got to flip it around the other way to find things that fit what we are looking for.
Okay.
But where do they even access that information though? That's interesting.
They got to pay for. It's cheap though. I mean, it depends how much you buy.
Well,
but yeah.
you didn't have to use to pay for it when it was around.
Keepa was free for a long time.
I definitely have used it. I was buying some Ray-Bans. I was looking for the cheapest variation because I didn't care what they like.
My family sends me links anytime they buy something expensive. They're like, "Hey, is this a good deal?"
Yeah,
yeah. They're like, "No, you gotta wait till Prime Day. It's like $80 cheaper." Like,
I love being a personal shopper for my family.
Yeah.
Do you guys stream this on any other platform? So we're on Twitter and YouTube right now, and then occasionally I'll go on Instagram too. But you definitely in general, you guys want to be following all the guys up here on the panel and just as many Amazon social media accounts you can as possible, because it's just a free way to get a ton of alpha.
Warner, Miles and I were talking about this earlier. Remember the days when we used to hound Instagram lives? Like we'd go hard on Instagram lives.
Yeah, let's do that with the four corners again at some point soon. Get Cody does Amazon in that.
Well, I mean, we grinded lives to try to get monetized way back in the day too. When we were trying to grind watch time.
Oh my god, man! Yeah,
I specifically remember that with Miles. Yeah, because he had the subs, but he didn't have the do that. When you're getting started, whatever it is, 4,000 hours.
That's a lot of watch hours.
That's a grind, bro.
Yeah, but comparatively now, I've done 18,000 the past 28 days. So you know, I mean, it's really just put in work. You know, what I mean, you'll get it if you do it enough.
What to stay away from as a new seller? Top 5 is a lot, Jules. The biggest thing to stay away from is leaving yourself alone, which you are not doing. You've done a good job of making other friends and stuff.
That and account health risks. Sorry, IP complaints are emphasized early on. Authenticities, all those things you really want to make sure you get ahead of, because when you don't have Amazon's trust, one IP complaint, one authenticity, we hear about it a bunch. It can be the only lifeline you got. Right, so make sure your accounting is in order, all the receipts match up, IP address. I mean, we talk about a bunch how to avoid IP complaints. Obviously, Chris has a tool that does so. So there's a lot of resources. SellerAmp has it as well. There's a lot of resources to proactively really start to try and avoid some of these things before they happen.
On the flip,
stay away from generic.
Yeah.
On
the flip side, the cool thing is once you're selling a ton of products, I've had 10 inauthentics on my account at one point that I was just bored and didn't deal with until after Q4, and it's not a big deal. You got to sell. And yeah, dude, I had 100 bands of stranded inventory last year that I dealt with that ended up being fine, but I had to submit a ton to get it.
That, and also buying stuff that doesn't move, right? Because when you're early on, every 1,000 in your business is crucial, right? So if your business is only worth 10,000, 5,000, whatever it is, 80% of that stuck on Amazon shelves that aren't moving, that could really crush you, right? That's going to kill a lot of the momentum that you build. So whether that be FBM, really double down and make sure that the stuff is moving. I would even say it's cool to even accept less margin, less profit to have your stuff continue to move, just because any sort of compounding is better than zero compounding.
It helps you improve the business model too. If you buy something and it just sits there for 3 months, they'll be like, "Oh, these guys are all liars and this is a scam." You know, I'd much rather break even and be like, "Oh, okay, well this stuff does sell through. I broke even, but I can make a better decision next time and come back to the table."
Big time.
Yep. Yeah, it's not real until you get those first couple sales. We're scammers until that first sale comes and it's like, oh wait.
Now these guys are dopamine dealers.
Bought some shoes for the nephews. Didn't even brag about the cash back. I mean, that's the real flex. If you got the right, that's probably impress mama there, right?
Yeah, Mia should have rubbed our nose in it, man.
Okay, so Game of Moms upgraded from IG to YouTube. Hell yeah.
What would you say that was the best category to start in? Man, I think a lot of us would probably agree. A really good one is clothing, right? Because it compounds. You find one size of a shoe, of a t-shirt, of a pants, or whatever. That leads you to 4 or 5 different ones, right? 4 or 5 different sizes, variations that operate the same way, right? You find an 8 of a white shoe that sells a bunch. Well, chances are the 9, 10, 11 also sell decently amount the same, right? So I think in terms of just like a compounding effect, really a scalability, right? Diversifying your risk, it's going to help out a bunch, right? You're not having to find, okay, one ASIN. Now you got to go find a whole different ASIN. A lot of the shoes, clothing, and apparel, stuff like that, there's a lot of variations. Once you find one, leads you to 5, 6, 7 other different ones. And all of it is a lot of like high velocity, easily awayable stuff.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter though. Buy profitable
course,
data. That's what matters.
Mhm.
Yeah, like you'll find if you just go to Marshalls, TJ Maxx, and Nike Outlet tomorrow, I promise you'll have it listings tomorrow night.
And then the cool thing is, right, you start there and now you get curious, right? You find the shorts that do well that Miles is talking about. Well, now you throw it into Google, see where you can buy it on Google. The first time that converts, it's going to open your mind, right? Now you don't have to drive or buy whatever they have on the shelves. Well, now you can go on your computer, right? Have them at your door in 3 days, have them sold in a week or two, right? That's going to really open your eyes to a lot of things. But again, sometimes it just takes that little leap of faith in order to kind of get yourself going there.
And then you start documenting the trips on social media, and then before you know it, you're in a group chat or a Discord of other people that are working on this stuff too. You're having a lot more fun with it. You're finding a lot more products faster, and you're making progress pretty fast with this stuff.
Makes sense. Thank you. I just did my first store run and found it. So the issue with stores
There's
is that
no
they're
such thing as issues with ungating. Just keep submitting. Keep submitting. And the more you worry about it, unfortunately, the more they decline you as well. It is a law of the universe, though.
I mean, the in-store receipt's probably a little bit tougher. You might make sense just to get something online, 10 units.
Okay.
Yeah.
When an ASIN has variations, how do you distinguish the bestseller? Common sense around the color and size, and the specific data from the Kiva chart, and the seller and variations tab. So you're going to be able to see the Kiva chart is going to be variation specific. So the size 8 Kiva chart, if you change it to a size 9, Kiva chart's going to change because it's going to show the data for that one, for that specific size.
Yep.
Yeah, it's important to not get overindulged in like the top couple of variations, right? The one that has the trophy, that's obviously the one that moves the fastest, but it also likely has the most competition, right? So a lot of the hidden gems are, if you scroll down a bit, you find the 13, the 14, the size 6 that not as many people are looking at, not as many people are buying, but the size 14 that only has 2 people selling may actually make a whole lot much better of an opportunity than the oversaturated size 8, right? So if the size 8 sells 1,000 times, it has 70 people on it, could be a lot less interesting than the size 14 that has 2 people, that has 2 people selling it, that sells 30, 40 times a month, right? So it's that kind of relative understanding of competition, price point, velocity, stability, individual to every particular ASIN.
Yeah, there's another thing I think people don't pay enough attention to is how old the variation is. So like, let's say you find a variation that only has 1% of the sales, and the parent ASIN is 5,000 days old, but that one variation is 150 days old. I would be on that one before any of the other variations, because it's obviously moving fast enough to get 1% of the ratings and reviews, and it's only 250 days old. It's crazy how many you can find like that.
Yeah, I'm going to demonstrate this for anyone who might be unfamiliar too with what we mean by that, right? So if we go and specify this size 13 here, this Kiva chart is for this specific size, right? Now, this is going to be the best way to gauge velocity per variations. You can also, to navigate the variations, go on Kiva and hit variations here. And now here's the tricky part, right? Here's the important part, is that these columns here, you can move them all around. So I'd recommend setting them up the way I have them set up, because now I can filter by buy box price top to bottom, by reviews top to bottom to see what has the most reviews, and then by the lowest price too. Right here, the tracking since, like what Chris was saying, was how long that variation's been around. So this one's been around 91 days. See, now here we go. So look at this. This one's
did the offer count there too.
Exactly. Oh, I love this offer count chart, right? So you guys move, I would recommend just match mine. This has only been around 115 days. A ton of novice sellers would pass on this because it has no reviews. But I can see this had 10 sellers on December 28th, and it had 2 sellers on January 2nd. Therefore,
one reason that would happen.
It's sold, right? Exactly, because not a bunch of people aren't just going to hop off randomly, right? So I'd recommend I'll leave it up here for a sec, organizing your columns just like this. So you can easily go here, filter by buy box, filter by reviews, filter by lowest price as well, and then also see how long the variations have been around. Because a ton of people get so bogged up in the review data when the keep it chart data is so much more valuable and the off count data is so much more valuable here.
And that offer trend is huge too, right? Because again, going back to that trophy variation, the top one, so many times you'll see the offer count shoot up, whether it be a hit a leads list or it's just a Nike sale or whatever the case may be. And so having that offer trend right there, again, the biggest indicator we have on the future buy box activity is really embedded within that offer count, right? The micro offer trend, what it's been doing the past couple of weeks, understanding what the offer count has been doing to really get a concept of what the buy box will do, right? That's huge. And having that visual right there that Miles has, that's going to be huge, huge, huge for really trying to understand the stability and the profitability of specific products over the long term.
Yeah, like a ton of people would avoid these guys because they only have one review, but they've been around less than a year, and it used to have 15 sellers, and then a week later or 2 weeks later, it had one seller. So that clearly sells there.
Yep. Bang. Do any of you use VAs for sourcing? Garrett, do you have VAs? You don't have any VAs anymore, do you, Garrett?
Nah, just for
Okay.
content.
Okay, so I think it's just Chris and I. And then he's asking what percent of profit is VAs. Mine's probably like 95% VAs, if not more. Are you
Yeah.
there too, Chris? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm about there. It's, I mean, I do some, I mess around with some storefront stalking and stuff, you know, but other than that, it's all my leads come from my VAs.
They're the
Are they all
best.
just kind of like one-offs or like replens or what?
No, we've got replens, we've got one-offs, it's all over the place. But see, I don't do any shoes and clothing like you guys do. I never got the taste for it. But I'd say probably 30% replens, and we always try to replen
Of
if
course,
we
yeah.
can. Like, I mean, the whole idea is I want to replen everything, but you guys know how it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Are they buying too, or you?
No, that's the one thing I haven't given that up yet. I can't.
How detrimental is sharing a listing with Amazon? It is incredibly detrimental if Amazon isn't sharing the buy box, and it is not detrimental at all if Amazon is sharing the buy box.
Yep. Gotcha. Ready to wrestle?
Distributor
That sounds like a
said
you-
we don't.
That sounds like a you thing, Tony.
That's a different YouTube channel.
You watching the WWE stream somewhere?
Distributor says we're not responsible for invoice acceptance on Amazon. I feel like a lot of people will say that. That's not something. I mean, a lot Amazon does their own thing on a lot of things.
Like pretty much everyone that doesn't actually sell on Amazon says that, and then like everyone who does like knows what's right. So we've actually gone insanely. I'm not even going to say it. Actually, we'll just keep rolling here.
Joe hit Costco for paper towels, ended up dropping $2,000 on a SKU for RA. You're addicted, Joe.
That's a tweet right there. That's a tweet. What is it that the person who marries the person at the wedding? What's that called again?
Officiant,
The
right?
officiant.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. Okay. I was trying to think of that the other day.
Can you explain break even on SellerAmp tab? Break even is just the price at which you make $0 profit, but you get all of your buy costs back.
I think Seller, don't you guys have a box that shows that?
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that question did ask on SellerAmp tab.
Oh,
Did you kick him out of the stream for that?
that was probably deserved. That was deserved.
Is it better to start LLC in a different state? That is a CPA question, my friend. We are
Yeah.
completely unqualified for your question there.
Cheapest
I'll
way
give
to
you an
file-
unqualified answer. You won't save on taxes if your LLC is in a different state, but you need to talk to a CPA.
Yeah.
Poor G body. So Vincent, all you need for Proctor Research, man, is SellerAmp and Keepa. We all have good videos breaking down how to source for those. Are your VAs selling the same leads to other resellers? No.
Nope.
And there's obvious ways to mitigate that by making sure they're actually working, making sure the leads aren't shooting down in price, and such.
And also just treating them well. The better you treat them, the better you pay them, the less incentive they have to go elsewhere.
Yeah.
My
Right.
Track the
VAs would
profit.
not get a better. They would not get a better deal going to work for somebody else, or if I caught them.
Yeah. You just track the profit they make, and even if they are slinging leads to somebody else and they still made you $4,000, then
Yeah.
good for them. They still made you $4,000. Like,
And that's so easy to do. I would just code your, and that's, I put out a tweet a couple of days ago about coding your SKU. That's one of the big ones, right? If you have a lot of VAs that are sourcing, code your SKU based on who finds that lead. So at the end of the month, you can run a report and identify what leads are supplying what amount of profit, and whether you want to give them like a cut of that or like a commission or whatever it is, you can really at least understand who's kind of generating what sorts of value to your business and use that as a kind of constructive feedback moving forward.
So for FBM, you do free shipping. You just bake it into your cost. And then when you're estimating FBM shipping costs, you go on sign up on the profit calculator and you filter to FBM. You got to scroll down a little while, filter to FBM, and then add in the estimated shipping costs. If you want a breakdown of estimated shipping costs, you can go to howtofbm.com. It's a good free guide I have for you guys that breaks down a lot of the intricacies of FBM, including shipping costs, supplies, how to tell if you can buy box FBM.
Jokes. Joe's the clergy.
Someone sent me a picture saying their doll looked used. How is it? The picture was a brand new doll in the package.
That's crazy.
If they want, Walker, they can return it if they want. But
That's crazy.
Can you name a best distributor? Kohl's. Any big website you've heard of, people are generating wealth on.
Yep. You got to make a lot more phone calls. That question means you have not made even probably any phone calls.
Yeah, exactly.
0 phone calls. I'm gonna assume you got 100 more to make until you can come ask questions.
The irony of the volume and stuff is like the person who says like I tried networking didn't do anything.
They talk to like 3 people max.
Exactly, right? And then the dude who's done a shitload is like, man, I got to go harder.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is that the word networking in the begin to begin with is just
it's just a good way to say it. But yeah, like most people do it terribly. Can I hide?
Garrett's rocking the full frat cap over here.
Yeah, no, bro's wearing like that, like he's about to go to. He's like a junior college baseball player, like walking through the gym with his cleats on during the pickup basketball game.
Well,
right?
the problem is I shower at night and I run in the morning, so I can't just hop on here with a mess of a hair. I run in the morning, I lift at night, and then I shower at the end. I don't shower multiple times a day, hence the hat.
No, Patty, you do a good job.
You definitely do network, bro. You're putting your face out there, like yeah.
Sarcasm.
The fact that we know who you are says you're doing a fantastic job.
Yeah.
I would assume it's a joke.
Any Chinese suppliers? No, but hopping on TikTok trends, yes. The Stanley Cups were item of the year last year, I would even say.
Might name my first newborn son Cole.
Mo, don't worry about covering UPCs, man. Just print the well.
Chris, why didn't you name a kid Walgreen yet?
I thought about it. My wife knocked that down.
Walgreen Grant.
Be the next one's middle name.
Yeah, there you go.
Is it good practice? Yeah, I mean, you can if you want, but it's not like you're sending products to customers. I mean, they don't like 99.9% of your Amazon customers have no idea what a UPC is.
Best on average for RA Kohl's, I would say Ollie's, but I have no personal.
Well, it's wherever you can generate, wherever you can find. Like I've made boatloads of money from Dick's Sporting Goods, RA. Like, and you know what I mean? Like Garrett has too. Literally back in the day, pickup orders and stuff, right? And you don't hear anyone talk about that.
True. The hybrid arbitrage is where it's at. Buying curbside, picking it up, already sold.
Yeah.
Problem is though, if you do that and they don't have stock and they cancel your curbside order.
No. But the key is that they.
I know. Then you know people to sell.
They can prem it in 45 minutes, right? So you place the order, you get the confirmation, you list the item FBM, and you pick them up if it sells. And if it doesn't, you don't spend the money. That's something they won't teach you at school, kids. Cool, sweet. So we'll do a couple more questions here because I got to hop off. Yeah, follow cousin Wi-Fi astronaut on Twitter.
Purchase from Walmart, qualify for Ungated. Anywhere you can purchase profitable inventory that lists your information on it, you can submit. That we made it 36 minutes today, didn't we?
No, there was one or two.
Was there?
I mean, this was a fantastic stream for lack of ungating. Now, I'll answer them all day. I want everyone to generate the wealth, but I am going to state facts regardless. Nope. Oh, actually, yeah, Zach, for sure at Costco, man. There's been some epic loops at Costco, but you're not going to go do like out of your way for that, right? If the product looks good, generate the wealth, right? You might have to pay for the membership, but don't really worry.
You'll probably find a product that it's like, oh, I can rip 5K on this. The $50 Sam's Club membership is worth it, but don't buy it like preemptively.
Well,
there are a
Amazon
couple
Lit. That's where they
places.
started off is Costco, Sam's
Literally,
Club,
not but
BJ's.
Yeah.
10 years ago. Yeah, when there's one seller.
There are some places that I've used in the past that have like $99 a month fees to be a member, and those places can make you a ton of money because that automatically means 90% of people are just gonna look the other way.
Because if for it to even be worth it, you have to spend at least like $500 on product, and that just like covers the the fee basically.
Yep.
Most people can't sling money around like that.
Cool.
Oh, I missed a call from Corey.
Got you. Cool,
We
sweet.
get
So,
antsy.
yeah. What time does it start, Chris? And today's the last day, right?
Yeah, today's the last day. It starts at 6 o'clock. I'm gonna get in there and open up for Corey.
Cool. All right, sweet.
Awesome.
Okay, so we're gonna answer Jules' question. Top 4 credit cards don't be a fit fact. If we're talking business credit cards, the easiest one for beginners is y'all see that golden hour hitting right there, right? I'll look at top 5 business cards, Amex Business Blue for 0% APR,
Sometimes I really wish we could boot Miles.
Amex Plum for the 60-day payback period, and then the Capital One Spark for the 2% cash back.
Dictatorship.
I'll see it coming in right there. Come on now. The great.
So predictable.
Have a
Mia's
great.
got a good question before we close things up. She wants to know the days on listing. Is it actually days on listing or days since the variation existed in general? It's the days since Keepa started tracking it. So my guess is it's probably on that listing. If it were an orphaned ASIN, I'm guessing that they probably reset it, but I can't say for sure. I'd have to like follow a
That is
child
interesting.
ASIN
Yeah.
that's been orphaned, brings it over and know for sure.
Cool. All right. So thanks everyone for making this a great Monday. We'll have Corey back next week. Corey's just been busy. Last week he's busy as well. And such G-Body Benz was on the bachelor party last week as well. Right. So we'll have the full crew back next week. Chris, thanks for subbing in as well.
Happy to do it.
James Harden.
Max contract, right?
1 year deal.
What is that? 10-day nowadays?
Yeah.
Bunch of
Something
good
like that.
resources in the description there. Have a great day. See you guys soon.
See you guys.
That light is hitting though.